Hi, everybody. Welcome to my homestead and welcome to my channel. My name is Jared. If you haven't already, please make sure to subscribe. I came across a really interesting quote from President George Q. Cannon. He was first counselor in the first presidency, and that's what he was at the time that he said this. This was September 28th, 1884, delivered in the Tabernacle on Temple Square. And I was looking for something else. I'm working on this spreadsheet of visions and visitations and near-death experiences. And there's one that I remember covering on the channel. And I think it was Brigham Young was talking to somebody that was on his way out. I think he was a member of the first presidency. It was something like that. And I haven't been able to find it again. And so I'm going to find it. But as I was searching for it in the scripture citation index, I was searching for come back because I remember the guy saying that he didn't want to come back to Earth after seeing what he did. So I searched for that and I came across this quote. And it's pretty short, but it's really interesting. It has to do with the veil, and it has to do with the end of life. When I say the end of life, I'm using the term that they use in hospice care, where someone is, at the end of life and they start going through these different phenomena. One of them is called visioning. And you might want to, if you're interested in this kind of stuff, you might want to subscribe to Hospice Nurse Julie. She shares all sorts of different experiences and knowledge and when it comes to hospice care. And in particular, I would encourage you to watch this video, real life bone-chilling visioning footage, where you have this elderly, well, I don't know, Asian man. Looks like it's like in an Asian country or something. And he speaks like Chinese. I can't recognize the language, but he's like speaking like an Asian language. He's elderly and he's in the hospital and he starts seeing his mom. And he like calls out to her like he's a child again. You have to watch it. He's like really seeing something. And that's what you're seeing in this screenshot right here. He's like looking at her. And, this girl back here can't see who he's looking at. The camera pans around. And of course, there's no one there that the camera picks up. But you should watch it. It's something that's starting to really interest me. I'm thinking about maybe reaching out to people that have worked in hospice and interviewing them. Amanda, if you're listening to this, she's the one that I met in Oklahoma at the Pioneer Woman Mercantile Store. If you're up for it, maybe we can do an interview. But anyway, let's go back to this and let's read what President George Q. Cannon said. This is at the very end of his talk. And he says, "Time will not permit me to say a great many things that I have on my mind. I see the time is nearly expired. But I wish to say that we had an existence before we came here. But, says one, I do not remember anything about it. No, you do not. You do not remember the day you were born on earth. Yet, you will not deny that you had an existence at that time. When you were a year old, you do not remember beginning to walk. Yet, you will not deny that you had an existence then. God, in his wisdom, has withdrawn the recollection of these things from us. If we could understand the glory we once had with our Father in heaven, we would be discontented in dwelling in this condition of existence." I'm laughing because I'm already kind of discontented. Yeah, but that definitely wouldn't help things if I could remember what it was like before. Okay. Then he says, "We would pine for the home we left behind us. Its glory and its beauty, its heavenly graces and delights were of such a character that we would pine for it with that homesickness that men have some partial knowledge of here on earth. It is said that at one time in the French army, the bands were forbidden to play certain airs because of the effect they had upon the Swiss soldiers whom they employed. These Swiss airs would arouse such sensations of homesickness as to cause the Swiss to throw down their arms and desert and go back to their native valleys and mountains. Now, if such a feeling of homesickness can be brought about in that way, how much more would it be the case if we could recollect our association with our Father and God in the eternal world? I want to pause right here. I'm not going to lie. I have wished that I would have like a near death experience, just like a little break from this life. Um, Not out of curiosity, well, like wanting just kind of a break or just kind of like an encouragement, not because of faith. I know that it's there, but just it's like on um it's what can you compare it to? It's like when I went on my mission, it's not like missions now. My understanding is that missionaries now can talk to their parents like once a week. Is it on like preparation day? Is that how it goes? Let me know in the comments, please. But when I was on my mission, the only time that we could call on the phone, we could call home, was on Christmas and Mother's Day. And that was it. Of course, we could email back then. And then we also sent a lot of letters. So it was both. But I guess that's like the type of experience that I would like. And I wouldn't like pray for that or anything. But if you're blessed with that, then good for you. And I know that some of you have been because you've sent me emails. But I kind of want that experience in life. Just like can I just have a quick call? Just a quick call. But Heavenly Father is wise. He doesn't do things to gratify our curiosity. And even more than that, maybe if I did have that quick call, maybe I would want to desert like these Swiss soldiers or mercenaries or whoever these people are. So maybe that's the case, maybe that's why most of us don't have those experiences, because if we did, that's what it would be like. I have watched a couple videos about near-death experiences, and I remember, I think at least a couple people where they had like a near-death experience. They got in an accident or something like that, had a near-death experience, and reporting that they felt really depressed when they came back, and that the depression lasted for a long time. So, yeah, maybe it wouldn't be the best thing, but okay. So wisely, in the providence of God, this knowledge is withdrawn from us. We can have a glimpse occasionally through the revelations of the Spirit to us of the glory there is awaiting us. And okay, now here we go. End of life. And sometimes when men and women are approaching death, when they are ready to step out of this existence into the other, the veil becomes so thin that they behold the glories of the eternal world. And when they come back again, as some have, we all probably have met those who have been snatched from death. They come back to this mortal existence with a feeling of regret. They have had a foretaste of the glory. Oh, you know what? Maybe he's talking not just about end of life, but also just near-death experiences. At first, I was assuming near-death experiences. Okay, end of life, visioning. As some have, we all probably have met those who have been snatched from death. They come back to this mortal existence with a great feeling of regret. They've had a foretaste of the glory that awaited them. They've had a glimpse of that glory that is behind the veil. And the love of life is so completely lost. The love of earthly home and friends is so completely taken from them that they desire with all their hearts to take their exit from this life into that glorious life, which they knew was once on the other side of the veil. Has not this been the case in many instances? Certainly it has. Therefore, our God in his wisdom has withdrawn his knowledge from us, or this knowledge from us, and left us to seek for and obtain that aid and strength necessary to enable us to successfully battle with and overcome the powers of evil that assail us on every hand. Yeah, so we're basically in this world of Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome, where there's just evil everywhere, and we're fighting for our lives in many different ways. temporally and spiritually. And we got to make it through, and that's okay. We're here for this experience, and it's a good thing. As we think about the second coming, which I believe is approaching very quickly, we get really excited about that. I get really excited about that. You get really excited about that, or at least I assume you do. And I think that we should be excited, but I have made the case that we still need to live our lives on this side of the millennium and enjoy the experience that we get in this type of world, because it's going to be gone really soon. We're not going to have the same challenges and things that we're experiencing right now, which are not pleasant, but they do help us to grow and they do give us experience. So things may seem awful right now, maybe in your personal life, or maybe just, your community, the world, and they are, but let's make use of it, because the end is coming, both the end of this 6,000 year period, and we'll enter into the millennium, and just the end of your life. It is coming at some point. It may come sooner than you think, or you may be cursed to live for a long time, like President Nelson. It's a joke. He's not cursed. It's not a curse to live long. But there is an end. It doesn't go on forever. I guess, like, going back to my mission, I was talking about this with the missionaries recently in our ward. I was talking about the fact that, when I was on my mission, it didn't take very long, just like a few weeks. And I felt like I had been on my mission my entire life at that point. It's like my life before the mission started to feel like a dream. It was very hazy. And I felt like the mission was all that I had ever known. And that, going back home would take forever. Like, I'm gonna be here forever. I'm now like a permanent angel on earth taking the gospel to people, but this is my existence. But no, I did have a life before my mission, and then I did have a life afterwards, and the mission did not last forever. And I'm not saying that I didn't enjoy my mission. I really did, but I did have that experience, and I'm sure a lot of you have too. Let me know in the comments how you experienced it. So anyway, things are not permanent. There is an end. And then it's really interesting reading about this, or like reading this quote where he talks about, have we not seen this ourselves? Maybe he's having some reference to, I already forgot her name. I think it was Ellen, but she was the niece of President Lorenzo Snow. Just a few videos ago, maybe last week, I'm not sure, we read an account of the niece of President Lorenzo Snow that was brought back from the dead. She was sick. She passed away, and she started meeting relatives that were on the other side of the veil. And she was like really happy, and just where she was so incredible that she was just like, so just all of her thoughts of Earth, like all her memories were just like Earth was like, whatever. But then she was called back, and she was like, no, no, I don't want to go back. But she did. She came back. She said that she felt compelled to come back. It's probably because the priesthood was in use, and it wasn't her time to go. But she came back, and she was like, where is he? And they're like, who? President Snow, who called me back. I didn't want to come back. I was happy where I was at. Why did he call me back? So it's just kind of interesting. But anyway, for right now, let's just rise to the challenge that we have right now, gain this experience. When I think of my life, I wouldn't give it up. As horrible as some of the parts of my life have been, I wouldn't give it up. It reminds me of, there's one time I was watching a documentary of this World War II veteran, and he had seen like the heat of battle. I can't remember if it was like D-Day, but he had seen the heat of battle. He was in one of the most intense parts of the war. And as he was being interviewed, he was talking about what a valuable experience it was. And then he said, and I think I've heard this said before, it's probably like a saying, but he said, you couldn't pay me $1 million to give up that experience, but I wouldn't pay 1 penny to do it again. And I think that's kind of what this life is like. I would pay substantial amounts of money to experience certain parts of my life again, but as a whole, as far as when it comes to like suffering and stuff like that, I wouldn't pay a penny to do that again. But I'm glad that I have that experience and that I did experience it. Okay, that's going to be it for this one. So if you haven't already, please make sure to subscribe, like this video if you liked it, leave your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. Also make sure to share it, and I'll talk to you guys later.